Roger Stone here. Your dollars are losing ground, but gold isn't. American Sovereign Bullion helps you protect your wealth through real, tangible assets. Through their nationwide wholesaler network, you get some of the best pricing on gold and silver delivered straight to your door. Since 1912, the U.S. dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold continues to prove its strength. So call 844-272-2428. That's 844-272-2428. Or visit dyingdollar.com to request your free gold and silver guide. That's dyingdollar.com.
I say this all the time, and I'm being sincere. In my lifetime, I'm 59. That's a long time. He's one of the two greatest politicians I've ever seen in our state. King Giuliani, Giuliani King, however you measure it up. Peter King is right at the very top. But the reason why Peter is such a great New Yorker goes above and beyond his Congress days on Long Island. Now he's the godfather, him and Joe Cairo, of all the new candidates, Homeland Security. It's because Pete is a real New Yorker. He is. Dad was a cop, the whole thing, you know. And he loves the sports teams. And you cannot make sports a periphery story in New York and succeed. You just can't. And Pete loves the teams. The Mets, Giants, but Pete has left basketball behind. They turned him off. They turned me off, too. Going back to the bubble championship and COVID, LeBron James. But I never left. Same thing with the NFL. So I never left. But Pete left. So I wonder, great New Yorker, Knicks are in the NBA Finals. You almost got to come back, don't you? Let's find out. Pete King, are you excited about this, or do you stay with your mindset of, I left the NBA, I don't care?
Well, I'm excited for New York, and I don't want to be raining on other people's parades, but I just can't get back in. But let me tell you something I was thinking of actually just yesterday. I was a Knicks fan back in the early 50s when they had Harry Gallant and Sweetwater Clifton.
Wow.
Joe Lapchick was the coach.
Yeah.
But anyway, you show you how things have changed. With $100,000 for a ticket now, $250,000 a ticket. My recollection is in the early 50s, the Knicks and Lakers were in the finals, the NBA, but the circus was in the Garden. And they had to play the championship series in the National Guard Armory on 26th Street, in the 69th Regiment Armory.
Huh?
That's how sports were changed in New
Wow.
York. So all those great players, Carl Braun, Connie Simmons, Vinnie Barilla, Dick McGuire, all of them, and George Mikan with the Lakers, they were playing in the National Guard Armory on 26th Street, which couldn't have held more than a few thousand people.
Wow, that is a great story. That's cool. Thank you for telling me that. George Mikan, he started with the Minneapolis Lakers before they even moved to Los Angeles. Yeah. Well, I keep getting asked this question. I was on Joe Pags. He's a big-time radio guy, number 7 in the country, according to Talkers Magazine. He's best friends with Hannity. Used to be a Long Island guy. Ironically, he lives in San Antonio, Texas. And he called me yesterday because I've kind of become the anti-Mamdani face all over the country. They know you want to bring on a guest who's going to kill Mamdani, you call Sid. So I was talking to Joe Pags yesterday, and he said to me, Sid, the city's a mess. It's divided. You know, the mayor just about hates everybody, you know. If the Knicks win, can it bring the city together? Now, my answer was, sure. I remember 9/11 brought the city together. That shouldn't be the question. The question is, how long will it last? What do you think?
I would hope. First, as I said, I'm not into it. I used to be. I really used to be. I lived and died with the 1970 Knicks, the 1973 Knicks with Barnett. I go down the whole list: Casey Russell, Mike Reardon. You know, not just the superstars. All those guys were great. Having said that, it can if the mayor knew how to play it the right way. I mean, I was not a John Lindsay fan, but when the Mets won in 1969. That got Lindsay reelected as mayor. They were able to bring the city together. Certainly 9/11, you know, the way Rudy Giuliani brought the city back. So great moments of great victory and moments of great tragedy can bring the city together if the mayor somehow would play it the right way. But nobody believes he's a real New Yorker. Nobody believes that his heart and soul is there. I mean, there's just no I haven't seen anything real about this guy at all, except his love of socialism, the anti-Semitism that's there. And let me just go off topic a little bit here. I really wish President Trump were not saying Mamdani's a nice guy.
I know.
He's not a nice guy.
No,
and it's
I know.
nothing to do with his economics. He could be a socialist. He could be all of that. That wouldn't cause me to dislike him. I would oppose him. But he's an anti-Semite. He's anti-American. I don't know how you can say a guy like that is nice when he's talking about a global intifada, when he's silent, when there's when they're tearing the Columbia campus apart and they're rioting in the streets and they're attacking synagogues. I mean, this is a. So anyway, that's my own.
No, listen, you know I feel the same way. I talked about it at 6 o'clock this morning, and you also know, Pete, because you and I are very close, that I've texted Trump time and time again. When I got in trouble a couple of months ago and all the Democrats came at me, every one of them, from Letitia James to Chuck Schumer to Kathy Hochul to Bill de Blasio to even morons like Richie Torres, and I ended up apologizing to the mayor the next day, that was all based upon a message I had sent to Trump where I said, stop saying he's a nice guy. And he did it again yesterday. I am with you 100%. I couldn't love this president any more than I do, and he loves me. But I don't get it. This need, he's compelled to tell us. He knows that real New Yorkers, Jewish New Yorkers, hate this guy. It's the last thing we want to hear. Can't he just say, I'm rooting for him, I'm going to try to help him, I want to save New York City? But he keeps saying it. He did it again yesterday. And I would tell Trump right to his face today, I've done it before. Stop saying it. He keeps saying he's a nice guy, he's a good guy. I'm with you 100%, Pete. President Trump needs to stop that nonsense because at the very core of his heart, trust me, he doesn't believe that.
I know that. I mean, he's got angry people for a lot less than that, I'll tell you. But also, I mean, just the pure politics of it. Right now, Bruce Blakeman is a great candidate. He has so much going for him. But his main weapon is Mandami. I mean, he can point to Mandami. Oh, listen, opening campaigns, you exaggerate. You try to sort of make your enemy worse than he is. But Bruce Blakeman can say that if he's the governor, he can point to Mandami as being the threat that is facing New York. This isn't a make-believe threat. It's real. That's why Janine Driscoll, I mean, she lives right on the New York City border. She saw all those illegals being piled up just several feet from where she lived. They had to have community meetings, how to protect themselves during that whole time when all the illegals have been put in stashed in hotels right on the Nassau border. So Bruce knows firsthand what it is to be fighting off the bad guys.
Well, Bruce, then you're right. So Bruce needs to step it up because I'm going to tell you, you already know this, Pete, but just in case you just tuned into me, you don't know this. You know what Bruce is going to be on Monday night? Sitting right next to President Trump at Madison Square Garden in that Dolan box, Game 3. So we're going to come home either tied at 1, which is still good, maybe up 2-0. That would be amazing. But our friend Bruce, who I spoke to again yesterday, I speak to Bruce every day like you do, every day. He's going to be sitting next to Trump. He needs to tell the president, Mr. President, please, he's not a nice guy. He's a scumbag. He hates everybody. Forget about the Jews. He hates the Christians. He wasn't there when Ronald Hicks was installed after Dolan. No. He hates the cops. Unless you're a Muslim and he can scream, Inshallah, Inshallah, on Hot 97, which made me nauseous, he doesn't care about you. So Bruce needs to sit with Trump on Monday, Pete. You need to tell him this and tell him that.
And Bruce, by the way, is really killing himself in this campaign. He's everywhere. I was with him last night at Jadine's campaign kickoff. The guy he should be exhausted, but I tell you, I don't know if he's running on adrenaline or what it is, but he's been campaigning all day, all night, everywhere, up and down the state, all over, the 5 boroughs, Long Island, upstate, everywhere. And he's in great form. But again, it sort of undermines his argument when he's saying, elect me governor, I'm going to stop Mandami. And then, Donald Trump is saying that Mandami's a nice guy. He's not a nice guy. And, we can have real differences on issues. The fact that he's a socialist, I wouldn't hate him for that. I disagree with him.
Right.
But when he's out there, anti-Semitism, anti-American, anti-cop, and just dividing race against race, going after middle-income homeowners, and, we know the reason for that. It's because he thinks they're all white. That's basically
that's it.
A guy's like race war, class war. It's terrible. The worst thing ever for the city of New York.
Can't argue. The worst thing ever. I want to get to the Iran conflict. President spoke yesterday, and he said things are going great. And, Pete, you've been around a long time. You've seen a lot of wars. You were involved in Homeland Security. Very important part of that, too. You did a tremendous job. I don't know, Pete. Maybe I'm not a historian like you and Bernard were, but usually when there's a ceasefire, you don't strike each other every day. I say that jokingly because it's a joke. It really is a joke at this point. We have a ceasefire, and we bomb each other every day. Israel and Lebanon, they've got a ceasefire, and they bomb each other every day. Now, Congress comes out yesterday, and they vote to limit Trump's war powers here. And you knew the regular, same names, Warren Davidson out of Ohio, Tom Barrett out of Michigan, Brian Fitzpatrick out of Pennsylvania, and, of course, the worst of all, thank God he's leaving, Thomas Massey out of Kentucky, plus every Democrat. What do you think about Congress deciding yesterday to limit Trump's war powers?
It's really bad form. Even if you have issues with the war, the president is in very delicate, sensitive negotiations. And I can tell you, Iran is watching every word being said in the United States Congress. So that just strengthens Iran's hand against the president. And listen, I can understand some frustration. The fact is, wars are never easy. I mean, I think the president thought this was going to be easier than it was. It's going to be tough, but I think he's willing to hang in there. He's willing to take the hits on it. But you can't have Congress undermining. If they want to talk to him behind the scenes, if they want to do that, that's one thing. But there comes a time when you have to put the country first. And I don't know what they thought they were achieving by letting the world know that a majority of Congress disagrees with the president. And we know that Democrats, listen, if Biden were the president, they'd be supporting the war completely. So that's hypocritical. But you're right, though. If Republicans to switch over on that, listen, if somebody was a confirmed pacifist, that's one thing. But we know these guys aren't, especially someone like Davidson, who is a conservative from Ohio. I don't know what he's trying to prove on this. There was the Marjorie Taylor Greens. They are that type. But to me, it's really something, a mistake here. And I think that also, and I'm not trying to be a Monday morning quarterback or a second guesser, because I support us being in Iran. I'm just surprised, though, that there wasn't a better plan to keep Iran from closing the Straits of Hormuz.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't that, they just seemed to do it overnight.
Yep.
Military did everything. And also, I think this maybe is a time to try to, again, behind the scenes, work with the allies, because some of those NATO countries do have very good minesweeping abilities. Ukraine is very good as far as fighting off the drones, and it's basically the mines and drones that are being used to close the straits. But we can't be running away. At the same time, these people criticize the president, and also, listen, the average person out there trying to make a living, paying $5 a gallon for gas is a lot. I understand that. But also in wartime, there are certain sacrifices. So I think if the president, I agree with you, he shouldn't be saying it's a ceasefire, because it's not.
No.
I think it's be straight with the American people and say, listen, this is tougher than we thought. We're going to hang in there. We're tough people. We're going to win this. There's more involved here than just the short term. It's saving your children, the grandchildren.
Yeah. But the problem is, look, that's true in the beginning. I'm with you. I was enthusiastic about it, and I think we did a great job. It's a mess. It's a mess. Just trust me. You've heard Tacopina on this show.
Oh, yeah.
You've heard other people that speak to at the Pentagon was stuck. Anybody who tells you differently is just a Trump cheerleader, which I am. I'm as big a sycophant as there is. But we're not winning. We're not close to winning. This thing is not close to being over. There are 3 or 4 major things that we want, and Iran is not ready to comply with at least 2 of them, maybe 3 of them. So the idea that, don't worry, it's going to be over soon and prices are coming down. If you ask the average American, they're starting to think this could look like Iraq or Afghanistan quicker than this thing being over anytime soon. So it's a mess. That's the truth.
I agree. And I think the president has to find a way to say that, but still be hopeful at the same time. And I think it's going to involve somewhat of a change of military strategy. We have to find a way to counter the drones in the Straits of Hormuz and get rid of those mines. I think we can do it with allies. But it's going to be tough to do. But now, if we do back down, that's just going to create more trouble in the future. Certainly Israel and Jordan and those countries. Right. So
can't do that.
There's no easy answer. We can't keep saying you're right. It's going to be great by September. Everyone's going to have the lowest gas prices ever. It's not. This is a tough haul, and we got to find a way to get out of it in a way that preserves our integrity in the Middle East and also weakens Iran, because otherwise. They now have this lever. They can shut down, even if there's a total agreement tomorrow. 6 months from now, or let's say in October, right before election, they can shut down the Straits of Hormuz again. Of course. We have to find a way to counter that. With all of the weaponry we have, with all of the talent we have, we're putting men on the moon and everything else, we have to find a way to keep the lousy Straits of Hormuz open.
We should know after 47 years that when some Iranian guy signs a piece of paper, you can wipe your ass with it. Doesn't mean anything. Obama and John Kerry were dumb enough to believe they were going to comply. I think one day they complied, one day. So I don't care what the Iranians agreed to. You just said it. We may do a deal, maybe a little better than Obama's deal, maybe every bit as bad. And there's still going to go backwards in a couple of months. That's your safest bet, okay? You like the Knicks over the Spurs? Your safest bet is no matter what happens here, despite President Trump's best efforts, and Trump is the best ever. He's the best ever. Iran will not comply. You're amazing. Every time you're on this show, I miss you even more in Congress and all that, and I love you.
Let me just say this: of all the things you said this morning, I'm serious about this. just mention Bernie's name.
Yeah.
That put a whole different light on it. What a great guy.
Yeah, no, he loved you so much, Pete. He used to say, "Long live the king." Remember that? Long live the king.
Yes, I know. That's
Yeah,
right.
and we were all great
The
friends.
other thing I was saying this. Whenever I was on Imus, Bernie would call me first.
Yeah.
You're down in Washington, you couldn't hear what was going on then. You couldn't.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I'm. Bernie would tip me off on what to say.
He was the best with that. He did the same thing with Bill Sims, because Sims would call in and go, "What kind of mood is he in today?" And Bernie would go, "What do you think, Phil?" So, Pete, I love you. Great job, buddy. That was a great conversation. Thank you so much. All right, buddy. Take care. The great congressman, terrific politician, even a better human being, my dear friend Peter King.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?